Hey guys. Hey, what's up? My name is Nina. How are you? Hi. It is 8 in the morning. I am not wearing makeup. I have my brows on though. The setup's a little weird. I have lights on. I wanted to do like a get ready with me tarot edition, you know? So I pulled some cards. I actually pulled cards for all the signs, and we're going to be talking about love advice. A lot of advice that we can give for each sign. You can apply this to your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. And yeah, kids. God. I'm sorry, I can't take myself seriously. I just woke up like an hour ago, and I did my brows, and here we are. So let's just go ahead and get started. I already primed, I put my brows on, so I'm just gonna go ahead with foundation. I'm using the Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation if you're interested. It's this one. It's in the shade 30NN. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start with the love advice for the signs. For Aries, I pulled the Strength card. I'm using the Alice in Wonderland deck, or Tarot in Wonderland, or whatever the fuck it's called. I'll link it down below if you want to do that. But I pulled Strength for Aries. So what does that mean for you, Aries, in terms of love? So just based off of the imagery alone, you can see that Alice and this little deer are like in the woods, and it's really dark and it's kind of scary and spooky. And so the initial feeling that I got with this card is that some of you Aries might be embarking on a journey or in a love situation, whether you are actually committed to someone or you are getting to know someone. Although the feeling that I get is it's mostly like you guys getting to know someone, like you're like in the beginning stages of dating. But what I feel with this Strength card is basically this feeling of being kind of feeling vulnerable, not really knowing what to expect, feeling in the dark, feeling kind of scared because this is like an unknown sort of place. It's dark, it's gloomy, you don't really know what to expect. So there's this sense of fear almost. And as an Aries, I know that you probably don't like that. You don't like to feel vulnerable or scared because you like to be the leader, right? And so I feel that with this Strength card, in terms of love, I feel that you are being encouraged to connect with your inner warrior, as always, right? To connect with your inner warrior and to not let fear overcome you or let fear take over your body or over yourself or over your mind. Allow yourself to take any sort of risk that is necessary in terms of love. If you want to shoot your shot with someone, go ahead and do it, because I feel that it would end up in your favor if you were to just shoot your shot and be that charming Aries that I know that you can be, because that's just like who you are naturally, you know what I mean? So yeah, if there's any sort of like fear that you have, or if you feel like you're walking down this path, this figurative path in the woods, and you feel lost and you feel scared, don't let that consume you, because then you'll never end up kind of shooting your shot. And we cannot let ourselves be driven by fear for the rest of our lives. That's just not something that is realistic for all of us. Sometimes we have to overcome those fears, and we have to take those risks, even if they are scary, and even if we don't know what the outcome might be. Does that make sense? So that is the advice that I have for you, Aries, is definitely shoot your shot. Don't let fear consume you. Connect with your inner warrior and know that you are worthy of love. Know that you are a very powerful being, and you are strong, and you are independent, and in all honesty, you don't need no man. You don't need anyone to validate you, but if you are, obviously we all desire a relationship at one point or another. Well, not all of us, but, for the most part. And so if you desire to be in a relationship, go for it. There should be nothing holding you back. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. So moving on to Taurus. I'm putting the foundation down my neck because I know it doesn't fucking match me. But for Taurus, I have the King of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles reversed that came out for you. For you, Taurus. So what does that mean for you, my little bulls? I'm a Taurus rising, so I definitely relate to your energy. Taurus. The advice for you is that emotional balance, emotional maturity is required of you at this time, whether you are in a relationship or you are single and looking for love. If you are single and, you know, looking and dating and stuff, emotional maturity is required of you in the sense that you need to definitely be patient and stop trying to rush into any sort of relationship or situation with a person that you are simply not ready for, or that the other person isn't ready for. I feel that it's important for you to respect other people's boundaries and not try to push something just for the sake of being in a relationship. And ask yourself if you are doing that. Ask yourself if you are trying to push a relationship with someone that you're probably not even all that into. I'm using Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the shade light neutral, by the way. Ask yourself if you're trying to push a relationship with someone that you're really not all that into, just for the sake of being in a relationship, you know? And if you are, why is that? Why do you feel that a relationship will make you happy? Why do you feel that a relationship will make you feel valid or worthy in some sort of way? Do you not like being in your own company? Is there a reason why you feel the need to be in a relationship rather than just like embracing your singlehood? The other concealer I use is ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 16. Yeah. And if you are not in a relationship, or if you're dating or something, also, the Knight of Pentacles reverse talks about inconsistency, not only just the lack of patience, but also just inconsistency, being very hot and cold. So if you're dating someone, whether it's casually or if you are just, you know, in the dating game, and if you have been very hot and cold with the people that you're dating, or if you have been very hot and cold as to whether or not you want to be in a relationship, that definitely has to be addressed, because we can't just, I mean, like, inconsistency with your emotions just isn't very fun. Being moody all the time about how you feel and what you want isn't fun, you know? If you're a Taurus sun, it's likely that for some of you, you have Gemini placements, whether it's a Gemini, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, whatever the case is. If you have those placements and you are inconsistent, the people that you are trying to date or that you are casually dating, whatever the case is, they don't necessarily like that. You need to be upfront as to what you want, and you have to figure out yourself what you want. What are your goals within a relationship? You can't say that you're trying to be in a committed relationship and then not acting that way. You can't just say one thing and do another. I mean, obviously, like, you physically can. Like, I can't stop you from doing that. But it wouldn't be fair to the other person, you know? Like, there has to be clear messages here. We can't do the inconsistency. It's just not, it's not a fair game, darling. And if you're in a relationship, Taurus, and if you have been inconsistent, and if you have been moody, definitely work on the moodiness within your relationships and your love relationships specifically, because that's what we're talking about. And if you need a break to figure out why you're feeling the way that you are, or why you're so easily triggered by your partner, then, you know, take a little bit of a break for yourself. Take some time for yourself to figure out why you feel this way and why you feel triggered by your partner. And obviously, like, I understand, you know, like, we go through things, right? But if you are just up and down all of the time and not even explaining why you feel the way that you feel and kind of just like being fickle, that's not necessarily productive or efficient. And we need efficiency in our relationships, right? In order for them to work. Figure out what you want. Truly, like, actually figure out what you want. whatever it is, whether it's you want something casual, whether you want something committed, either way, we need to have an adult conversation with ourselves and ask, okay, what do I want in this relationship? What would benefit me? What would make me happy? What would make me fulfilled? And it's okay to have those conversations. And it's okay if you want something casual. You don't have to have something completely committed. But if you're being really inconsistent and saying like, oh, I want something casual, oh, I want something committed, then it's probably best to stay single until you figure out exactly what you want. So moving on to Gemini, I have the Empress. Oh, okay. I wish I had wet wipes, but I don't, so whatever. We have the Empress and the Lovers reversed for you, Gemini. So Venusian energy, Taurus energy, Libra energy. You could be dealing with a Libra or Taurus. If you're not, that's okay. So for you, Gemini, I would definitely say, first with this Empress card, to make sure that your needs are being met and that you are taking care of your needs before you are taking care of the needs of others. It's not fair to put other people before yourself. If you are a Gemini sun with a Virgo moon, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's not fair to put other people before you, because if you continue putting other people, I'm baking with the Fenty Beauty powder. It's not fair to put other people before you and not take care of your needs, because when you do that, you end up tiring yourself out and then you can no longer provide for them because you've run out of fuel. It's important that you are taking care of yourself, that you are nurturing yourself, and that your needs are being met. Your sexual needs, your emotional needs, your spiritual, mental needs. Okay, we all have needs, and that's perfectly valid, and that's fine, and they should be taken care of the way that we take care of other people. And if they are not meeting your needs, either address it, and if they don't change, then find someone else who will meet your needs, because I promise you there is someone who will meet your needs. Just no questions asked. So that's something to be mindful of. If you are single, don't like bend over backwards trying to impress these people, trying to like make them date you because you give them everything and you spoil them, and you know, you never make them do anything, right? You never give them any sort of responsibility, I guess you could say, because it's all you. Make sure that you're not doing that. Make sure that there is a balance between you guys. And with the Lovers reverse, this to me signifies usually being tempted to make the easy choice rather than the right choice. So let's say some of you are talking to someone and you know that this person isn't right for you. You know that this person isn't going to meet your needs. You know that this person just isn't necessarily all that compatible with your own energy. So the right choice would be leaving the situation and finding someone else. The easy choice and the wrong choice would be staying with them for the sake of staying in the relationship, staying with them thinking that you might change them or that it'll work out in the end and that they'll get better over time. We both know that that's not gonna happen. And so staying in a relationship for the sake of staying in it, or making the wrong choice just because it's easy, doesn't necessarily serve us in any sort of way. So that's something to be mindful of for you, Gemini. All right, so we have Cancer. We have the Hermit for Cancer. So this is the Virgo card. Cancer. Whether you are in a relationship or not, the Hermit is telling me that it's time for you to disconnect and to introspect within yourself, to reflect, to get to know yourself. Take a little bit of a break. Maybe your partner has been clingy, or maybe you have been clingy towards your partner, or maybe you've just been feeling very overwhelmed within your relationship or within your dating life, and you need a little bit of a detox right now. Because as a Cancer, we tend to take in a lot of energy, right? We kind of absorb a lot of energy, whether we try to or not. We just get very exhausted being around people, and sometimes we just need to be within our own home space. This isn't to say that you should break up with them, but to take some time for yourself, whether it's a little mini vacation. If you are living with your partner maybe stay at a friend's house or at your parents' house or something, so that you're not in the same space for so long, because it just feels like maybe you might need a little bit of just you time. I'm using the Milk Makeup Perk, what is this called? Lip and cheek stick. It's in the color Perk. I think I said that. I usually put this under the powder, but I forgot, so it's fine. It's whatever. If you are single and if you have been, for example, really desperate and trying to find a relationship, the Hermit is telling me that you need to go within and ask yourself, why do you feel the need to be in a relationship? Is a relationship really what's going to make you happy and fulfilled? What is missing in your life that you can give to yourself before you enter a relationship? Is there anything that you are neglecting yourself of that you think would be given to you in a relationship, right? It's definitely a time to introspect and to reflect on what your motivations are when entering a relationship, when going through the whole dating game, I guess you could say. And reflect on whether or not there are certain people that you want to be with. Like, if you're talking to someone and maybe you've had like this intuitive feeling that this person really isn't for you, but maybe you've been ignoring that for whatever reason, then maybe this is time to finally allow yourself to think about this and talk about it with yourself and have that, you know, self-discussion. Also, the Hermit just talks about how some of you, especially if you've been trying to force a relationship for whatever reason, if you feel like you have been needing an absolute break and you're not even happy in this relationship and you have been wanting to just be independent and single for a while, this is definitely your opportunity to do so. The Hermit is definitely all about being independent, not talking to anyone else, not really worrying about anyone else other than yourself. So if you have been wanting to be single, or if you know that you've been needing to be single for whatever reason that might be, this is definitely the time for you to do that so that you can be on your own, get to know yourself better, and no longer be in an unfulfilling relationship. So now we have Leo. So Leo, we have the Devil reversed and the King of Swords. This is really interesting. That was such an interesting spread. Here it is. So here's what I have for you, darling. Leo, there's something that you need to release yourself from, whether it's a bad habit that you just do within like relationship aspects in your life, I guess you could say, or just like within your relationships or within like the whole dating thing, whether you're single or not. There's something that you need to release, some sort of habit. It could even be that you need to release yourself from this King of Swords person, whoever this is. This is potentially an air sign, but this to me is like someone who's like really emotionally detached. And he has like a fucking dictionary right here. The immediate thought that I got was someone who corrects you on everything, like absolutely everything. They're always correcting you, trying to one-up you in some sort of way, whether it's intentional or not. There's just this air of superiority that I don't like about this King of Swords right now. And you need to cut ties with this person. Or it could be that you were acting this way and that's a habit and behavior pattern that you need to cut out within yourself because this is not working, and not just like push this agenda on people, I guess you could say. Again, it could also just be someone who is acting this way towards you, in which case you need to either distance yourself from this person or just completely cut them off because it's just not working out for you. It's not serving you. It's not doing anything productive for you. If you feel codependent in some sort of way, if you're codependent towards someone who seems uninterested in you, if you're chasing after people who have no interest in you or who act like they don't have any interest in you, that definitely is a cycle that has to be broken. Because what is the point in being in a relationship with someone or trying to be in a relationship with someone who plays the role of someone who doesn't have interest in you? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And there might be some sort of like deep-rooted sort of, I don't want to say trauma, but deep-rooted thing that might have made you feel that chasing after people who are uninterested or chasing after people who are indifferent or aloof should be like that ideal. If you're chasing after emotionally unavailable people, ask yourself why, essentially. That's really what I can tell you, Leo. So take that with what you will. Virgo, I have the Eight of Pentacles reversed for you in terms of love advice. So there's a few things here. So one thing, some of you are definitely overworking yourselves, trying to impress someone who literally does not appreciate you, someone who probably couldn't care less. This person takes you for granted. They don't appreciate your efforts. They don't see your efforts for all that it is. And I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. But whatever the case is, you're overworking yourself trying to impress this person and they don't really care. You are working so much and you're not even getting the recognition or acknowledgement that you deserve, and that's not fair. And I find that a lot of Virgos tend to do this, is that like they bend over backwards for these people and their needs go unnoticed and they're not acknowledged and they're not appreciated. It's like people don't even say thank you to you, is what it feels like. And if they do, it's so half-hearted, and it's more out of courtesy than actually meaning it, which is just not fun. You know what I mean? So if this is the case for you, Virgo, definitely walk away or cut ties or distance yourself from these people, because it's absolutely not fair. For others of you, Virgo, the Eight of Pentacles reversed to me can also signify someone who is overly critical, someone who's a little bit too much of a perfectionist, someone who is paying way too close to details that really aren't even relevant to the situation, and trying to make not even like a big deal out of it, but like trying to make something out of it. In which case, Virgo, calm down. There's no need for you to be overly critical. And if you are being overly critical, is it stemming from a place of your own self-deprecation, I guess you could say, or self-loathing? Is it because you feel so insecure within yourself that you feel the need to criticize and project onto other people? And I'm not saying this as a way to point the finger or make you feel bad, but if you're doing it, then it's worth acknowledging and working through. You know, we all have these tendencies. We all have these moments. I'm not trying to make you seem like the bad guy at all. Maybe it comes with good intention, but the way in which you were saying it doesn't come off right. And so people get offended and people get defensive, and that's valid. That's absolutely valid. Well, I'm using that glow kit. Are you projecting onto these people? And if so, why? And why do you feel so insecure within yourself? And why do you feel the need that everything has to be absolutely perfect? Because there is no such thing as perfect. Perfection is an illusion. You know, sometimes a lot of Virgos, my mom is a Virgo Venus. Sometimes Virgos, they have this idea of perfection, but that idea is very unattainable. It's not realistic. So what are you going to do now that you know that this idea is not attainable? Are you going to continue chasing after it and continue being critical towards others and towards yourself within these romantic situations? Or are you going to make the effort to cut yourself and others some slack and not be so anal about the details? Does that make sense? For others of you, the Eight of Pentacles reverse can signify laziness, in which case if you're being lazy within your dating life, or if you have been slacking off and not appreciating your significant other and not putting in the effort to make them feel loved and cherished and appreciated, this is your message to make them feel appreciated, right? Okay. Moving on. We have Libra. So Libra, I have the Nine of Cups for you, which is awesome. This is all about wish fulfillment and manifestation. All I can really say for you, Libra, is that the ball is in your court. And if it's not, then you can make it in your court. You can manifest the life that you want or the romantic situation that you desire, as long as you put in effort. It's not something that is going to come easily overnight. If you put in the effort that is required of you, then you will be able to attain whatever it is that you want in your life. Whether this is in terms of a relationship that you're already in or a relationship that you want, whatever it is, you can make it happen. I'm using the ColourPop volumizing mascara for anyone who is interested. I don't know how I feel about it. It flakes sometimes, so I don't know. But anyways, ball is in your court, Libra. Scorpio, we have the Magician and the Three of Swords reversed. Interesting. So this is cool. The Magician upright tells me, Scorpio, that you are definitely really wonderful at manifesting whatever it is that you desire. You're really good at getting what you want, and that's awesome. However, I feel like right now, especially with the Three of Swords reversed, you need to be using your magical abilities, your manifesting abilities, to allow yourself and help yourself heal from whatever pain or disappointment that you have been experiencing. Because that's what the Three of Swords reversed tells me, is some sort of pain, heartbreak, some sort of almost like mind-numbing situation. It kind of feels that some of you may feel at this time very numb to everything. The pain may have been so strong that maybe you just feel like you numbed everything out and you don't know how to feel anymore. You have to put in the active effort and energy to heal yourself. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not necessarily something that's going to happen easily. You have to be patient and easy with yourself and be gentle with yourself. Or maybe there's a grudge that you are holding, and I know that Scorpios tend to do that because you're a fixed sign. You tend to hold on to a grudge, which I understand, right? Fixed signs tend to hold a grudge a lot longer than most. If you're in a relationship and you feel stuck in that relationship, or if you feel that the relationship has grown stagnant, maybe it's because you have been so in your head about whatever pain it is that you are experiencing at this time. And if you're single, in order for you to really move forward and find someone who matches you and is compatible with you, you need to work on inner healing and putting in the effort, the time, the energy into helping yourself, because no one else is going to do that for you, darling. So I finished my face. I feel great. And now we have Sagittarius. We have the Ten of Cups for you, Sagittarius, and the Two of Wands reversed. Right here. So the Ten of Cups and the Two of Wands reversed, the immediate feeling that I get is that for you, Sagittarius, you have everything that you've ever wanted or that you've ever desired in the past. You literally have everything that you ever need or have ever wanted, and it seems that you're not really satisfied with that for whatever reason. That's what it seems like with the Two of Wands reversed. Whenever I see that card, it's like you literally have everything that you could ever ask for and you're still not satisfied. There's kind of like this, I don't want to say that there's a lack of gratitude, but for some of you, maybe it is a lack of gratitude of not appreciating what you already have and always just feeling like you need more and more and more. There's kind of like this void that you are experiencing in your life right now. And I understand that you want to explore and, you know, you don't want to feel tied down, but if you're in a relationship, then what was the point of being in that relationship if you don't want to be tied down? You know, if you have everything that you want, then what is really the issue here? Usually a lot of the time when this happens, it's because there's something that is still unfulfilled within ourselves, and we continue to try to fill that void. But a lot of the times we don't know what that void is. Maybe there's something within you. Maybe there's a void that you were trying to fill all of the time, right? It's some like never ending void. For me, the way in which I relate to this is that when I was younger, and even still today sometimes, when I was younger, growing up with my mother gave everything to me, physically, like materialistically. My mom spoiled me. I wasn't a spoiled brat, no, but I was definitely spoiled. I was very, what's the word in Spanish? Engreída. I've come to the conclusion now that I'm 19, that my mother gave me all those material things, but because at that time, in that time of her life and of my life, she could not provide it to me what I required required emotionally. And so she compensated by giving me material things. She compensated by getting me toys or getting me makeup or clothing. And that would temporarily fill the void inside of me. But that void was never ever full, because what I actually required and needed and desired was that emotional fulfillment, that emotional nurturing from my mother. Now my mother and I are fine. We're good, and we have healed a lot of our relationship, and I have that emotional fulfillment from my mom now. So I don't require all of these material things, because that's I know that's not what I need, and a lot of the time I know it's not what I actually want. So for you, Sagittarius, maybe there's a void within yourself that has to be addressed, and that can be many things. Maybe it's the materialistic thing that I just mentioned, or maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, darling, take the time to really introspect on that and ask yourself, what is it that I'm missing within this relationship or within my life that makes me feel like I don't have enough? Once you reach the conclusion and find out what it is that you require and start implementing that into your life, I think that you will begin to start feeling a lot better, okay? And I think that you'll begin to appreciate what you have already within your heart and within your love life. For some of you, maybe if you're single, and if you feel like you don't have enough, and maybe you feel that a relationship, a romantic relationship, is what's going to make you feel that happiness, and it's going to fill that void. I feel that maybe some of you need to come to the realization that a relationship isn't necessarily going to be the thing that is going to give you that long-lasting fulfillment. Will a relationship provide temporary fulfillment? Sure. But like I said, it's temporary. It's not something that is going to provide a long-lasting sense of fulfillment. And so if you are kind of in this stage in your life where you're like desperate for a relationship for whatever reason that is, whether you feel lonely or you want to have someone just for the sake of being able to say that you have someone, whatever this is for you, why do you feel that you need this? Ask yourself that. Why do you feel that you need a relationship? Why do you feel that you have to have this person in order to be happy? Why are you placing so much value, or why are you placing so much of your power into someone else's hands? Why are you placing your happiness into someone else's hands? It should always be in your own hands. So that is definitely something worthy of noting or addressing and acknowledging within yourself, Sagittarius, if this is how you have been feeling. We have Capricorn. So Capricorn, I have the Four of Cups reversed and the Star reversed. You could be dealing with an Aquarius with a star here. Okay, so Four of Cups reversed and the Star reversed, Capricorn. This is telling me that you've lost a sense of faith or hope within the universe. I feel like you're trying to take too much control. I need my glasses, hold on. You're trying too hard to be in control of a situation. And that's why it kind of feels that you've lost faith within the universe, or lost faith in a situation, or you lost faith about whether or not you will be in a relationship. It just feels like there's this sense of like, oh, I'm never gonna be in a relationship. I am so this, I'm so that. Like, just saying I'm not good enough for a relationship, Just like this whole self-pity, self-deprecating sort of thing, which is really just not cute. And I understand like where you're coming from, but that's not really gonna help you. That's not productive. And as a sign who is productive, and you need to be productive and efficient, this isn't efficient or productive for you in any sort of way. Yes, your feelings are valid, absolutely, but if you just are saying this all the time to yourself and not making the active effort to change the way in which you view yourself, that's the problem. So Capricorn, I feel that your energy is just really scattered. There's a lack of meditation. There's a lack of groundedness with this Four of Cups reversed. You need to ground yourself. You need to meditate. You need to journal. You need to get to know yourself a lot more. Because your energy is just all over the place. I'm not a fan. And as an earth sign, you need to be grounded. You need to be realistic. You need to be pragmatic. And no, you're not being realistic and pragmatic and practical by saying that you're not worthy of a relationship, and that you're never going to be in a relationship, and that you're not desirable. No, that's not. That's just self-deprecating and self-loathing. That's completely different. Don't get it twisted. So I really do feel that it's important for you to ground yourself. If you are looking for a relationship, it's important that you first of all, that you're easy on yourself, and that you are treating yourself gently and not pinning all of these self-deprecating descriptions on yourself, because that does embed itself into your psyche. That's definitely something that has to be addressed for you, Capricorn. Ground yourself, like I said, do some meditation, do some yoga, do some journaling, go out in nature. Dude, seriously, go out in nature, take in a breath of fresh air. Go to the beach, go to the woods, go on a hike, do something to clear your mind and to introspect and to further get to know yourself. Because right now, there's just this feeling of scatteredness, of not really knowing who you are or what you want or feeling worthy of anything. And it's not serving you, it's not helping you in any sort of way, okay? And you need to really start connecting with your spirituality again, or just start developing or reconnecting with your hope and faith, and that you will have like that hope and faith that you will be in a relationship if that is what you are seeking, or that your relationship is going to turn out okay. If you feel like your relationship is going to shit, and if you feel like your relationship is just like you've lost hope in your relationship, and I'm not referring to like extremely abusive or traumatic relationships. I'm not referring to this at all. This is not advice that applies to this, okay? Because that is a very extreme circumstance, and that's not what I'm talking about, okay? But if you feel like your relationship has gone to shit and that nothing is just working out, take the time to ground yourself. Both you and your partner, to ground yourself, to take some space for one another, to meditate, to journal, and do all of this other stuff, and come back with a fresh mindset and see, okay, what is it that this relationship needs to improve on, if you desire to continue that relationship. If not, then move on, whatever. Aquarius. So I have the Knight of Wands reversed for you, Aquarius. This basically talks about how you need to let down your guard and allow yourself to be vulnerable, whether you are single or in a relationship. If you are dating someone, for example, casually, whatever the circumstance is, but you're having a hard time letting down your guard, it's important for you to do that, because this person is trying to get to know you, and they can't really do that when you're blocking them off all of the time. You need to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and the way that you can do that is allowing yourself to be vulnerable with yourself, and allowing yourself to feel and acknowledge certain things that you have been pushing away or suppressing, and saying, I don't really want to feel this right now. It's not worth it. I don't want to feel weak. I don't want to be I don't want to have all of these emotions. I don't want to be a crybaby. It's not about that. It's not about being a crybaby. It's not about being weak. Being vulnerable does not equate to weakness. It never has, and it never will. Anyone who's taught you that is wrong. If you have been conditioned to think that, that is wrong, and you need to recondition yourself to believe that you are worthy of love, and that you are worthy of being vulnerable, that you should be allowed to feel vulnerable and feel emotions. Because if you just keep everything pent up, eventually that's going to simmer to the surface and completely blow up in your face and any other people's faces, and there are going to be casualties with that, and that's not fair to you or to them, okay? You need to work on allowing yourself to feel, to let down your guard, to not just completely block off people who are trying to get to know you and get in deeper. I understand that maybe in the past you have been rejected, or you've been really hurt, and it feels really hard to let these other people in. But if you are having a hard time letting people in, then maybe there's something that you need to heal from this past. If you still have like this, I don't want to say trauma, if you still have this pain or heartbreak, residual sort of stuff from your past, from people that have hurt you, it's worth healing those things. And it's worth taking the time to acknowledge that, yes, you were hurt. Yes, you were very vulnerable in that moment. Yes, these people might not have had the best of intentions with you, and they really screwed you over, but that shouldn't define you for the rest of your life, and you can't let that define you for the rest of your life. You need to allow yourself to heal from that, because once you heal, you feel so much more open, and you feel so much more alive, and you feel like you can just be anyone, you know? You feel free. You need to free yourself from that. That's really what it is, Aquarius, is that you need to allow yourself to be free from all of this. Allow yourself and choose to liberate yourself, to free yourself from all of this pain or whatever. Take that time to do it. Is it going to be easy? No. Are you going to run away? Are you going to want to run away? Yeah, absolutely. I'm an Aquarius moon. I get it. I have gone through that my entire life. I've been hurt so many times. And I still, even to this day, I find it hard to be vulnerable sometimes, but I have to. And I have to face that shadow side. I have to face the pain because it's never going to go away unless you acknowledge it. No matter how long you ignore the knocking at the door, it's not just going to stop. Maybe you'll be able to tune it out, sure. But it'll always be there, that knocking on the door, for you to let the pain in and acknowledge it. That's all that it really is. Next, we have Pisces. We have the Seven of Cups reversed and the Chariot reversed. We have Cancer energy with the Chariot reversed, and this is also Piscean energy to me. This to me that there's a halt in progress and there's a lot of distractions going on for you, Pisces. The Chariot reverse is telling me that you're not focused. You're very distracted. It can be that other people are distracting you. It can be that other people's opinions or expectations are distracting you and making you lose focus within your relationships. If you are in a relationship, or if you're dating someone or getting to know someone, whatever the case is, and you really like this person and you really want to move forward with them, right? But there are people around you who are telling you what to do and who feel entitled to tell you what to do, whether it's with good intentions or not, who feel entitled to give you this advice, and who feel entitled to have you obey this advice, which really are orders. They want you to obey their orders. And if they're being a little bit controlling, and if you're letting them influence you in your decisions and what you think and what you like and all of this other stuff, your advice for you, Pisces, is to think for yourself and to tune these people out, because you can't live for them. You can't live to make them happy, especially in your love life. Don't choose people if, you know, like if this is like, if you have the choice, right? Because I know that like for some people there's like arranged sort of stuff and whatever. If you have the ability to choose for yourself, then do that. Don't let other people overrule you. Don't let other people tell you who you should date or who you shouldn't date. If you are, especially if you're of age, if you are of age and you are your own person and you're an adult, do whatever it is that you want to do. You are the ruler of your own life, not these other people, whether they're your parents or your friends or coworkers, whoever. They don't rule over your life. They have their own life to worry about. Let them worry about their own life. This isn't about them. Seven of Cups also tells me that there might be some sort of illusion, confusion as to your love life, whether it's because you don't know what's actually your own beliefs, thoughts, and feelings, as opposed to what are the other people's thoughts and feelings and beliefs. That might be something that you need to work on differentiating, and you need to work on focusing and being very diligent and assertive and standing your ground and telling people, yo, like, this is my love life. If I want to date this person, I am going to date this person. There's nothing else that you can do. That's one thing. For some of you, the Seven of Cups and the Chariot reverse can tell me that some of you are kind of falling for some sort of fantasy or idealization for someone or some sort of situation. Maybe you're idealizing the idea of someone, or the concept of a person that you've met, but really you don't actually know this person, and that could be what is halting progress, the Chariot reversed, within this relationship or whatever, or this situation, is because you're choosing to see what you want to see from this person, not what they actually are. So that could also be a little bit of an issue for you, Pisces, within your love life, whether you're single and dating or whether you're just like in a committed relationship, whatever it is. It's important for you to see the reality of a situation rather than what you choose to perceive, or rather than what is being sold to you. So that is all that I have for you. I'm gonna put on some lipstick really quick. Give me one moment. All right, I put on a clear gloss. Actually, it's not a gloss, it's an oil. It's a NYX Professional, This Is Everything lip oil. That's what it looks like. It's clear. I like it. I'm not a fan of the scent though. I inhale it and it like bothers my throat, but whatever. Pain is beauty. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you liked like the format of this video. Virgos were probably cringing because I had my makeup hands on my cards. Geminis were probably fast forwarding the entire time. That's fine. I don't know if I want to do this again. Let me know. Maybe it's like a monthly thing that I do for like every month, like monthly advice, monthly love advice, very quick advice. Because obviously I'm doing 12 signs, so I'm only doing like 1 or 2 cards. I'm not gonna go super in depth. So let me know if you like this. Seriously, I would really encourage any sort of feedback about this. Yeah, maybe you like my makeup routine, maybe you don't. that's fine. But with that being said, I will talk to you later.